And welcome everybody to another edition of the GSMC Baseball Podcast brought to you by the GSMC Sports Network. As always, I'm your host, Kenneth Grunfelder, and it's great to have everybody here on this Friday, December 29th. We have a lot to talk about on the show today, but before I get into that, I just want to remind you guys, as always, to tip or donate and get your comments recognized, make sure to go to the following link. That is streamelements.com/gsmcsportsnetwork./tip. Again, that really helps the show, makes the show more interactive between myself, the host, and you guys, the viewers. Again, that is streamelements.com/gsmcsportsnetwork./tip. And as always, it is displayed on the ticker on the bottom of the show segment down below. So with that, let's get right into what we are going to talk about for today, at least on the baseball side of things. So we'll talk about Yamamoto's press conference. Also, had a couple of Dodger fans comment on my last video, so I kind of wanted to address them on the show. So we'll get into that. Then in the second part of the show, I'll go through some of the recent trades and signings around the league. Not major signings or trades, but I'll just get into them. Talk about them. That'll be the second part of the show. Then in the third part of the show, we'll go through like the recent rumors and speculations and things like that as we're moving right along here in the off season. And then after that, we're going to get into looking at the current World Series odds for the teams that have the best chance of winning the World Series this year. So we'll go through that because I know with Yamamoto, Soto, Ohtani being moved around and signing and getting traded, the odds have changed for some teams. So we'll go through that as well. So that's the rundown for the show today. Also, obviously, the GSMC football podcast will be after this. That'll be at 10:30 a.m. Eastern time, so make sure to tune in for that. But yeah, this is the last day for shows in 2023, and then the next time we'll be doing shows will be in the new year, 2024. Can't believe it. So that's the rundown for today, and this will be the last show of 2023. So let's get right into the first topic, which is discussing Yamamoto's press conference. So the Dodgers obviously introduced him, met with the media. A couple of quotes here. He said, "I am beyond ecstatic to become a member of this historic franchise. I cannot express how much it means to me to be able to call Los Angeles my new home." Now, one of the biggest things with Yamamoto was the fact that, he went there because of Ohtani. Now, he did say, because I'm looking at an article, that Ohtani wasn't the sole reason that he decided to sign with the Dodgers. He said, "I wouldn't say Ohtani was the sole reason I decided to come here." He said, "Even if he went somewhere else, I probably still would have ended up in LA as a Dodger." On top of that, Shohei is obviously not only one of the best Japanese players, he's one of the best players, period, in all of Major League Baseball. To be able to play with him from here on out means a lot to me. So, basically, it's kind of like with Ohtani, what he originally did, signed with the Angels, because you're closer to your home country. And listen, there's nothing wrong with that. But obviously it does help when you have Ohtani there. There's familiarity there. Obviously, they were on the team that won the World Baseball Classic, so I can understand that. You're closer to home, and obviously there's some familiarity with one of your teammates. Because again, like when the Yankees are trying to recruit him, Matsui and Tanaka, they're not on the Yankees anymore, So, but I mean, he did say that he was always going to be a Dodger. So I mean, because he met with the Mets and the Yankees, more than once, and I guess he just wanted to kind of see what offers he had out there, but ultimately, it seems like he was always going to end up with the Dodgers, and that was the case. And obviously a lot of people aren't happy because of what the Dodgers have done in the offseason. And I know in the comment section, at least, I had some Dodger fans comment on my video. I mean, listen, for me, again, I'm not going to cry about it. it is what it is. But I will say that it is good that there is a villain in baseball. I think you need to have that, and I think the Dodgers have kind of become that now with the team that the super team that they have put together now. So yeah, I mean now it's up to the other teams to go out there and beat them, and you see a lot of a lot of jokes on social media that they'll lose to some random team in the playoffs in the first round, regardless of who they have. But we'll see. But yeah, I mean with Yamamoto, listen, I really don't have a problem with him saying, listen, I was always going to be a Dodger. I guess he kind of toyed with the New York teams, meeting with them a couple times, but you're just trying to see like what's out there for you, So, and ultimately the Dodgers gave him the offer that he wanted. The Yankees, they didn't go past $300 million, and I'm not going to get mad about that. I mean, listen, they offered him the best contract they could, and actually the other thing too is, so somebody commented this last week. Is the fact that they didn't want to the Yankees didn't want to upset Garrett Cole if they gave if they gave Yamamoto more money than him, and that was kind of one of the reasons they didn't want to make Yamamoto the highest paid pitcher on the team, I guess, because they already have Garrett Cole. So that actually was a factor into why they didn't go past $300 million. So I thought that was interesting. But I wanted to get into the comment. This is the big comment here. It was from Now the World 138. So he said, I'm 38. As a lifelong Dodger fan, everyone acts like the Dodgers did something wrong. Shohei went to every team and offered the same deal, so don't act like the Dodgers are doing something nefarious. It's 100% legal. Now, I don't think I ever said it's nefarious or yeah, whatever. I don't know why he said it like that, but it's 100% legal. Now, I don't think I ever said that it wasn't. I think it's just the fact that the Dodgers were able to do that, and you have other teams, smaller market teams that can't do that. I hate how every fan base is crying about how baseball is broken. Yes, it is, but it's broken because owners don't invest into the team. Dodger Stadium is 100% self-funded with no bonds from the city. The Dodgers invest into technology, into the farm system, and you're telling no one else can do the same thing. Get out of here with that nonsense. Trust me, the 90s and first part of the century were not fun times for us Dodger fans. Yeah, we still led the league in attendance year in and year out. I sat there as a child and watched the Yankees buy, build, win championships, and now you want to sit there and cry foul? The audacity. Don't tell me about dark times. We can never get free agents here unless it was guys past their primes or guys no one else wanted. Basically, yeah, just defending the Dodgers. The front office has done an amazing job of putting together a team that competes for a playoff berth every year with aspirations of a World Series. Does it happen every year? No, of course not. Parity is actually a wonderful thing, but the Dodgers care. And he said, I wouldn't want my team to do the same as such a silly take. I didn't want to read the whole thing. But, yeah, I had a lot to say about it. And, yeah, listen, the Dodgers, they have built a great team. And they have the ability to do that. And listen, yeah, I mean, they're picking, towards the end of the draft a lot because, they're a team that's always competing for a championship. But, some of the young guys that they have been able to, develop, they've been successful with that. I mean, you look at the pitching. Some of the guys are hurt, like Walker Buehler, Dustin May. But now they brought in Glasnow, they brought in Yamamoto because, again, the pitching was, the reason why they didn't get further in the playoffs last year. So they wanted to fix that, and that's what they did. They went out and they traded for Glasnow. They extended him. You sign Yamamoto. We'll see what happens with Kershaw. But, I mean, I don't think I wouldn't want my team doing the same thing as a silly take. I don't think it is. But again, listen, that's me as a 23-year-old Yankee fan. I only started watching baseball in 2007. That's like my earliest memory. I didn't see all those championships. I've kind of come to grips with the fact that the Yankees from the old days, those aren't my Yankees. They aren't. Like I don't have I don't claim ownership of that because I didn't see it. I'm not one of those Yankee fans that goes around parading around like, "Oh, we got 27 rings." Well, I only saw one of them. I was technically alive for two, but I only saw one of them. So I can't really say those Yankees from the 90s and before that, I wasn't around for that, so I wouldn't want my team doing that. Because, again, it's like, yes, it's legal with what they did with Otani's contract, deferring all that money to, the end, the back end of his contract. But it's not fair to, like, a lot of other teams that are trying to, that don't have the resources, that don't have, you know, the personnel that helps build these teams, because there's a lot of teams that are kind of just been bad for so many years since I started watching baseball, and they're kind of just circling around. Like there'll be times where they do compete, and then they end up going back into the tank and not being good again. With the Dodgers, yeah, they're able to do that because they have the resources, they got the money for it, and yeah, they've been able to. They have one of the better. Well, they did have one of the better farm systems. I don't know where they rank right now, but yeah, I mean the pitching. They dealt with injuries last year, and listen, Otani's going to be part of that rotation, not in 2024, but the following year. Again, Glasnow, Yamamoto, it's going to help to go along with Walker Buehler and with some of the other guys they have there as well. But I don't think it's wrong with what I said about, I don't want my team doing that. Because, yeah, I mean, it's not fair. But, again, like, if my team does it, there's nothing I can do about it. Again, I'm not going to sit there and be like, this is, not fair. But, yeah, I'd rather my team not do it. And, you pay the contract while the player is playing. So, I don't know if that makes any sense. But yeah, but definitely a good comment, I guess, very lengthy. But at the end of the day, it is what it is. I mean, I'm still going to try to enjoy what my team is able to do, as everybody else is with their teams, unless your team really just has no chance to do anything this year, because there are a few. But. What's done is done. And, the Dodgers, they have had a heck of an offseason. And, again, they have the resources to do it. So, there's nothing illegal about that. So, but, yeah, that's pretty much it when talking about this. Let me know what you guys think about, Dodgers getting Yamamoto. And, yeah, so with that, we will... and what the other stuff Yamamoto had to say. So with that, when we come back from our first break, we'll talk about some of the other recent signings and trades that happened. Nothing major, but there's been some moves recently. One of them involving my team, so we'll get into that when we come back from our first break of the show. So with that being said, stick around, and we'll be right back here on the GSMC Baseball Podcast.